everyone, seeing how later this year we're going to be celebrating the 50th anniversary of Scooby-Doo, a series of cartoons that's still doing pretty well with every new incarnation, I figured for the next few episodes we take a look at the series past. But seeing how we simply can't do the good ones just yet, we gotta get through the bad ones first. That being said, welcome to the Scooby-Doo Live Action Marathon. To start off, we're going to be taking a look at the first two movies that were released in theaters, those being Scooby-Doo and its sequel Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. I haven't seen either of these since I was a kid. I think the last time I saw these two was roughly 10 years ago, so I'm going into these with fresh new eyes, which is always very interesting to do. I've done this before last year with Max Keel's Big Move and Snow Day, and I said both were good despite some bumps along the way. But now will these two be the same after rewatching them? Well, that's what we're going to find out here today. This is Scooby-Doo. Now, if you've seen any episode of the cartoon, you would know that the gang would see the monster and our ghost, and come up with a plan to trap it. But the movie says the hell with that and throws us right into the action without any information on this mystery. As we see Daphne, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar, being carried away by a ghost.
God, hurry it up! This ghost keeps grabbing. Ah!
A very pervy ghost. We also see Velma, played by Linda Cardellini, and Fred, played by Freddie Prinze Jr. Well, we can already guess why he was casted, as they both go over how they think the plan is going to work out. In the meantime, we get to see Scooby-Doo in live action, and... yeah, it's not that good. Sure, as a kid, I thought this looked great, but if I were to pet this dog, I think I would only feel the textures they used on this model. We also get to see Shaggy, played by Matthew Lillard, and I do have to admit that he does a pretty damn good job capturing the likeness of the character. Hell, even many years after this movie's release, he's still voicing the character to this day.
You're damn right he does!
The hell was that?
Over here, you scrub!
Who are you?
I'm 420 Shaggy Lover 69, a dank memer who loves memes of one Shaggy Rogers from Scooby-Doo and nothing else.
Wow, you must get picked on a lot in school.
Nope, not when I have Shaggy, aka the demigod, on my side.
The what?
Oh, come on! You must have heard about the memes, or as I like to call it, the lore, of one demigod known as Shaggy.
Not really, no.
Blasphemy! One does simply not know about this powerful man!
Maybe because I have a life and don't look up memes of a cartoon character?
Just to look him up and experience the beauty of this saint.
Fine.
See the way he makes people cower in fear. Look at the way he takes up Thanos. Can't wait to see that in Avengers Endgame.
So these are pretty much making Shaggy to be this incredible man that can...
Demigod!
Whatever. These are just making us think that he could do anything?
Yup, isn't it a marvelous thing to see?
Nope. In fact, these are just a take on the memes that were made about Chuck Norris.
No they're not. These are more current, popular, and helps me and the squad stay more lit af, fam.
Okay, you know what? I'm getting distracted. Back to the movie. The plan goes off the rails as the ghost starts to chase Shaggy and Scooby.
He's right behind it. Oh, skateboard!
Like, whoa, I didn't know that Shaggy can also skateboard. He must be a hidden character in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Nah, I'm pretty sure it's just a stunt double who can also skate.
Oh, come on! If we can get Shaggy to be a fighter in Mortal Kombat 11, I am also sure that we can get him in a skateboarding game.
Wait, people want Shaggy to be in the new Mortal Kombat?
Oh yeah! People have already signed a petition for him to be an upcoming fighter.
This can't be true. Let me look this up. I hate the internet sometimes. Actually, the only thing I'm getting out of the skateboard scene nowadays is from Shaggy hoping that Scooby isn't getting too excited from all of this. Because the one thing scarier than getting chased by a ghost is your best friend's head touching the back of your head. So they catch the ghost, unmask him, when all of a sudden Pamela Anderson comes in. Then again, this series has had some bizarre cameos before, like the Three Stooges, Dick Van Dyke, Don Knotts, and even freaking Batman of all people. But here, the cameo just feels pointless. And another thing, did they just leave the keys in the van? I mean, look at the scene again. It's a 10% chance that Anderson would come in through the wall, but the other 90% is the chance of a druggie just driving away in it, making the van their new home.
Fred, I can't believe you took credit for my plan again.
Velma.
Some plan. The ghost pawed me for an hour and a half.
Daph, look. It's not our fault you always get kidnapped.
I do not always get kidnapped.
So apparently because of some issues inside the gang, Fred, Daphne, and Velma decide to quit, leaving Shaggy and Scooby behind. Just to clarify that we're only about 10 minutes in, and we now get the cliche of a team splitting up. You'll think this should be near the halfway mark of the film. Anyway, the film transitions 2 years later, as Shaggy and Scooby are living the high life, beach bumming it, and cooking food inside the van. But the establishing shot really doesn't make it look like they're cooking. Would it surprise you that this was supposed to be rated PG-13? Because it will make this part so different. Like Scoob, we're totally 420 blazing a man!
Oh yeah, I free you, fam.
I'm looking for a Mr. Rogers and a Mr. Dew. The detectives?
Like, it's probably just somebody else looking for us to solve some terrifying mystery.
Nobody home.
Quick, Scoobo, grab the food out, let's scramble.
I'm looking for a Mr. Rogers and a Mr. Dew.
I'm sorry, dude. Look, I'd love to help you out. You look like a really nice guy. It's just we're not detectives anymore.
The two get an invitation to a place called Spooky Island, as it also turns out that the rest of the gang got the same invite, making that split up that happened a couple of moments ago entirely pointless. We also see how Scooby's gonna get onto the airplane.
They don't allow big dogs on the plane.
I have no comment.
You've got to be kidding. No one is stupid enough to believe that.
I think we should have a peek at the writing for this movie. While on the plane, Shaggy begins to have the hots for a passenger on her way to the island played by Elsa Fisher. They immediately hit it off because of one thing. It just so happens that they both love eating Scooby snacks.
Far out! I have never met another person who loves Scooby snacks.
Me neither.
I'm Mary Jane.
I'm sorry, what's her name?
I'm Mary Jane.
Of course it is. Hey, let me introduce you to my other friends, Electros, Nachos, and Anastasia Steele. Seeing how Shaggy and his Mary Jane are enjoying themselves, Scooby has to move because of her allergy to dogs. Or in other words, just so we can get a joke about a dog barking at a cat. As a matter of fact, shouldn't that cat be in carry-on?
Grandma?
Velma. It's simple behavior modification. To cause a dog to discontinue any action, you simply flick it on the nose. Observe. Scoop. See?
I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that. Fred flicks Scooby in the nose, and his response is to deck him right in the face? I know I should be laughing, but I'm shocked that a freaking dog just performed physical assault. Is it because he saw the Wing Commander movie?
No bad dogs, my ass.
They land on the island and are introduced to their host, Emil, played by Rowan Atkinson, as he explains to them that the people who come to the island act different when they leave.
Hey, Carol, how's the island?
Are you tricking on me?
Carol, it's me. It's Brad. We've known each other since we were like 3.
Back off my grill, son!
Carol, what are you doing?
Okay, there's two possibilities. One, it's her time of the month, or two, his hair. I mean, what the hell type of look is he going for? It's like if you went into the barber and asked for the hairstyle of a blue shell from Mario Kart. Later that night, Velma goes to a performance just to see if there's anything suspicious going on, but it doesn't last long as we see the host for the night, Nagoo. And before he came out, he was probably working on his Molaram cosplay. Also, apparently he has a luchador as his sidekick. I don't know why, just go with it. Anyway, he tells everyone there a spooky tale about monsters that were once on the island.
10 years ago, a real Montavarius antagonized these ancient beings by building a theme park here. The creatures are furious, my friends. They plot their revenge.
So they had the Ghostbusters Demon Dogs there? Oh please, let this be a crossover.
I assure you, while you party...
You sure that's the take you want to go with?
While you party...
Really? Okay then. After that campfire ghost story, I hope everyone enjoys the party! While they all party, Shaggy and Mary Jane, okay screw it. I'm gonna call her the best day because of this obvious dumbass joke. While Shaggy and Maui Wowie are having fun, Daphne comes to take him and Scooby to a castle where it just so happens that Fred and Velma are there as well.
Daphne, exit through the entrance. Velma and I will enter here through the exit there. And Shaggy and Scooby, do whatever you guys do.
Random fist pump. They split up and walk through the Tim Burton mansion, where it turns out that it's actually an amusement park ride. As Daphne is carried away by a cart, Shaggy and Scooby are attacked by fake food.
It's plastic!
What do you care? You drink out of the toilet?
So do you!
Where we also learn some issues Shaggy might have. And Fred and Velma are trying to dodge giant blades on pendulums. Okay, if those are real, why hasn't anyone filed a lawsuit on this place? Six Flags has better safety than this death trap. Fred gets launched through a window, luckily without any cuts or lacerations, as they stumble upon a control room and notice a video that might explain what's happening to the people that come to the island.
Interaction between young people is polite and casual.
Hey, sorry, bro.
I will crush your bones into dust!
Clearly Chad has taken steroids.
Let's see how the situation should be handled.
Hey, sorry, bro.
No big whoop, dog. Yo, did you catch that new vid on the box?
True that. I'm up to snuff on all popular trends.
Word.
It seems to be a brainwashing facility of some type.
Isn't it obvious? It's just white people trying to act cool.
Oh, come on! Doesn't everybody talk like that?
No.
Well then, you're just not lit, fam.
Afterwards, we get a very much needed scene of Shaggy and Scooby burping and farting. And I'm not kidding when I say that this goes on for a full minute.
Pull my finger. Uh-oh, too late.
You're in trouble. Oh boy!
The writer of Guardians of the Galaxy, everybody. Oh, I'm not kidding. James Gunn actually wrote both of these movies. So, aside from the offensive tweets, do you think he was fired for writing this one scene? Another thing I noticed that the director for both of these was Roger Gosnell. I guess it's his thing to do shitty dog movies and shitty cartoon adaptations. They get out of there, but not before grabbing an artifact that looks more like the Yu-Gi-Oh toy I once got at Burger King. While Velma's examining it, this guy walks in and starts a conversation with her.
You really dig doing this, huh? Like, clues and stuff.
Certainly.
I would call this character by his name, but technically, he doesn't have one. He's literally credited as Velma's friend on the film's IMDb page. That's kinda sad. She tells him about the good times the gang had in the past, but said it was ruined by Scrappy-Doo. Lots of people seem to be divided on this character. Some like him, while others despise him. Personally, I can't comment on any love or hatred on him, mainly because I never grew up with him. I can recall watching one episode of the cartoon that Scrappy was in, but that's it. I don't remember how I felt about him back then either.
Scrappy, for the 1,000th time, there's no such thing as ghosts.
Sure there are. And when I find them, I'll give them a good dose of puppy power. Ta-da!
Oh God, he's peeing on me.
Well, since they did a full minute of burps and farts, it was about time to do a pissing joke. They kick Scrappy out of the van as the flashback ends. Oh, I sure hope that pointless scene doesn't result in Scrappy coming back later in the film for a stupid-ass twist.
You'll be sorry!
Scooby notices one of the monsters in the goo brought up earlier outside. Okay, maybe it's just me, but I don't feel like these monsters belong in Scooby-Doo. I mean, look at the scene out of context. Would you think it was from anything remotely related to Scooby-Doo? Keep in mind that I grew up with other films from this franchise like Zombie Island and The Witch's Ghost, where it wasn't the usual guy in a Halloween costume. But then again, maybe it's just me. Also, the design of these monsters aren't even that creative. They almost look like stretched out gremlins. Plus, all they did was just copy and paste them without anything to make them look different. The CGI is almost on the line of a PS2 game. Anyway, the monsters take everyone there, including Velma and Fred, as Daphne, Shaggy, Scooby, and Maui Wowie are the only ones who escaped.
We need to follow them
Say what?
so we can defeat the creatures and save Fred and Velma.
Well, that's sort of like my plan. We just get the heck out of here and let the creatures eat Fred and Velma.
Okay, even I have to admit, that's pretty messed up.
I get that Shaggy's a coward, but wanting to leave without saving his friends is so out of character for him.
Like, screw you guys, I'm going home!
Maui Wowie gets the idea to call the Coast Guard, as we get this guy's bizarre response.
Well, we do have a unit in the vicinity. Can you meet him at the pier?
Uh-huh.
All right, they'll be right there. Our friends have been kidnapped.
Okay, that happened. No, seriously, what the hell was up with that? He tells his friend that people were kidnapped and begins to do an evil laugh? Why? You would think that he might be working for the villain, but no. He doesn't come back later in the movie, so it just makes this evil laugh pretty pointless. Imagine if I did that in real life. Yes, hello. Can I get a medium-sized pepperoni pizza, please? Mm-hmm. And, can I get a 2-liter cola with that? 30 minutes or less? Okay, thank you. Alright, bye-bye. 30 minutes or less. That would be super weird! They wake up the next morning to find out that nobody arrived on the island to help them, as we also see everyone there is having a party!
Fred!
What up, dog? And, dog?
Keeping it real. Look what happened last night.
Man, we got beats like it was the listeners on Earth. You know what I'm saying, G?
Oh, so this is how Jimmy Kennedy got the idea for Malibu's Most Wanted. It turns out that everyone there is possessed by the monsters, as the luchador kidnaps Daphne and the monsters begin to chase Shaggy, Scooby, and Maui Wowie. But Scooby finds out that she's also one of the monsters, which results in him and Shaggy fighting.
Roll ripped! I'm whipped? Oh yeah? Well, why don't you say that to my face, man? Roll right now! No, Scooby-Doo, your mom eats cat poop! Bring it! You want some? You want a little piece of the shagster?
Whoa, watch out! He's gonna release his full demigod power!
Oh, quiet. Scooby falls down a trapdoor as Shaggy follows after him. He can't find him in this cave, but he does stumble upon a tub that has all the souls of the people who were possessed by the monsters. Again, maybe it's just me, but this doesn't scream Scooby-Doo. Shaggy's able to find the souls of Velma, Daphne, and Fred as he sends them on their way back to their bodies. But Fred and Daphne's gets mixed up and are sent to the opposite person. While that happens, Velma's able to find that the monster's weakness is sunlight. You know, I was kidding about them looking like gremlins. You don't have to steal one of the rules from that movie.
Hey, I can look at myself naked.
Have I mentioned that this was supposed to be PG-13? Because either way, this is stupid. They all meet up and get back in their original bodies, as they found that the reason they were sent there was for Emil to get in reach of Scooby to use him as a sacrifice. So they come up with a plan and get in their positions. Fred and Velma blend into the crowd, Daphne will be outside to open the blinds letting in the sunlight, as Emil comes out for the ceremony and... I'm sorry, it's just... What the hell is he wearing? It looks like he raided the wardrobe of the artist formerly known.
There. Sure glad I don't look stupid in this.
We see Shaggy knocked out one of Emil's henchmen and stole his outfit, as he gets close enough to Scooby to apologize and tries to get him out of there.
I'm sorry I yelled at you. And I'm really sorry I haven't been a very good friend since we got here. But listen to me, bro. You gotta trust me now.
You don't trust me.
I do trust you, Scoob. Now look, who's your best buddy?
Raggy.
That's right. And who's my best buddy in the whole wide world?
Scooby-Doo.
That's right, Scoob. You are. We're like two trippy peas in a far-out pod, man.
Okay, I do have to admit, that scene was pretty sweet. Too Bad's followed by Scooby getting his soul ripped out. Yup, Scooby-Doo dies as we see his body slumped over. Okay, actually, he's only mostly dead. You see, there's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead. As Shaggy grabs onto the crane holding Scooby's soul to knock over Emil, who's in the middle of absorbing the souls of everyone there. Again, maybe it's just me, but this doesn't feel like something that screams Scooby-Doo. Anyway, Fred and Velma notice Emil's wearing a mask as they proceed to take it off. Of course, it all makes sense. Emil was a pretender transformer! Actually, no. It turns out that the real villain was... Scrappy-Doo. What a twist? His whole plan was just to lure Scooby-Doo and the rest of Mystery Inc. there to the island so he can get his revenge for leaving him in the middle of the road. And to be fair, I think they deserve it. Because if I'm correct, Scooby's supposed to be his caretaker, and he was okay with leaving his nephew in the middle of nowhere? Yeah, kind of a dick move on their part. Scrappy also reveals that thanks to the souls he absorbed, he has enough power to destroy them all. Okay, I am 100% certain that this was not meant to be a Scooby-Doo movie. This was probably the script for another supernatural movie set on an island somewhere, but one of the writers saw their children watching Scooby-Doo and threw those characters in at the last minute. That's probably not true, but that's what I think happened.
This is totally ungroovy, Scoob!
Scooby-Doo, where are you?
So while Scrappy Rex is chasing after them, don't look at me, that's what they called him. As Daphne begins to fight Nagoo's luchador friend, I would make either a wrestling or Buffy joke, but I haven't seen neither, so I'm not gonna try.
Now who's the damsel in distress? Me? Straight up.
Oh yeah, apparently there was a thing about Daphne and making her a stronger character. I'm bringing this up now because I forgot to do so earlier. In fact, I think even the film forgot about it up until this point. He crashes through the blinds revealing the sunlight as the monsters come out of everyone and explode. Everybody is happy, even Fred and Daphne who... kiss? As far as my knowledge on the cartoon goes, I never really thought of them having a thing for each other. Either that, or Sarah and Freddy broke character seeing how they're a couple in real life. So Scrappy is taken away, the team is back together, as we get a Marvel-style mid-credit scene of Shaggy and Scooby eating peppers.
Scooby-Doo, you feeling okay?
Planning on not sleeping tonight? Slow the movie down when Scooby is screaming. You're welcome.
On the count of 3.
1, 2, 3.
We all know Shaggy's faking it. Nothing can hurt a god.
Let's move on to the next movie. Monsters Unleashed begins with the gang going to a huge banquet in a stretched Mystery Machine limo, which is honestly pretty cool, to a lot of fans waiting for them, like fangirls for Freddy, possible stalkers for Daphne, the triggered feminist meme for Velma, and some fan dogs for Scooby. I think we just found out how Gosnell got the idea for show dogs. I did kind of laugh when Shaggy's friends were a bunch of potheads, and it doesn't help that he's dressed up like a blunt. Anyway, the banquet was being broadcasted by a reporter played by Alicia Silverstone. To be fair, she's been in worse movies connected to a famous franchise. As they go inside to show off the costumes of all the monsters they caught. While this goes on, we see that Velma has the hots for this guy Patrick, played by Seth Green, as he proceeds to ask her out on a date.
Oh, I can't, Patrick.
Oh.
Mystery is my mistress. I must heed her sweet call.
Oh, come on, Velma. He might ask you and your friends to be in an episode of Robot Chicken. And yes, I know it's an obvious joke. Shut up. The night is then interrupted by a new evil masked figure, literally named Evil Masked Figure, and...
This is only the first rung on the ladder of your demise.
He looks like Mecha Don King.
Only in America.
He's able to make the ghost of the pterodactyl costume come to life as it drags around Shaggy and Scooby, then flies off with the evil masked figure with the rest of the costumes. Which causes Felicia to do a report blaming them for the night, and also taking what they said out of context.
When asked for comment, Fred Jones, leader of Mystery Incorporated, had this to say.
Little old Coolsville can solve its problems without us.
I didn't say that.
And I guess, little old cool
I did, but that's out of context.
Well, I am 100% sure that this is just normal news and not for some dumbass twist at the end of the movie.
You'll be sorry!
It's all my fault. I'm the one who told Shaggy and Scooby to get the ropes. No, Velma, it's my fault. I should have checked that they were tied before I let go.
It's my fault, too. We all know how Shaggy and Scooby can be.
Even though they still caught the criminal via hijinks in the cartoon, but why try to make reason with any of this? It's very clear that no one here has seen an episode of that. So I hope you enjoy this stupid side story as Shaggy and Scooby try to feel like they're still part of the gang by acting like real detectives.
I'm sorry, Daph, but your go-go boots didn't fit. Me?
Scooby! Those so don't go with that sweater.
Really?
How is it that this looks worse than his grandma outfit in the last movie? They go into detail about the original pterodactyl ghost played by Tim Blake Nelson, who was a scientist that got sent away to prison after they caught him, as we see him trying to escape.
So long, sucker! Help me, sucker!
His body was lost at sea.
Sure it was. They managed to get a lead with a colleague who worked with Nelson, Jeremiah Winkles, the original Black Knight ghost, as they go to his house, which looks like the one from the show's opening, but are stopped by some heckling kids.
Hey! Nice job last night. Losers!
Quick, we need to think of a comeback.
What dorks?
Hey! Shut up!
It's a good one.
Yeah, it was, but I like the second take a lot better.
Hey!
Get out of the yard!
I'm gonna run that clip to the ground. They manage to get inside and find a book which reveals the evil masked figure's plan, and that is to turn these stolen costumes into real monsters. But their visit is cut short when they see the revived Black Knight ghost trying to kill him. Daphne tries to fight it off, but Velma finds its weak spot.
Being followed off 8 degrees north, which makes his weakest point right here!
Right in the round tables.
You know it's the early 2000s when both of these movies have done fart jokes and kicking someone in the junk. They go back home to look up more on why the evil masked figure is doing all this, but even that is cut short when Patrick comes by to try to ask Velma out. It seems she's too nervous to go out with him, so Daphne helps her and oh my god!
Who's your mommy?
Oh, you could be anything as long as you wear that. So while they essentially go on a double date, Shaggy and Scooby sneak out to go in disguise at a bar that holds all the old criminals they've unmasked. There, Shaggy comes across Jeremiah Winkles, played by the late Peter Boyle, who's probably there because he was one of many innocent people that started Pluto Nash.
I see those twerps. I'd tear their eyes out of their skulls and make them eat the one eye while watching themselves eat it with the other eye.
Yep, definitely somebody that's starting in Pluto Nash.
Hey, handsome.
Hello, baby.
You. Okay, first Scooby punches someone in the face, now he's hitting on female women? What in the hell is going on in the world of Scooby-Doo? Well, this is a film from the early 2000s. Might as well have a dance party! We got to Fred, Daphne, Velma, and Patrick arriving to the museum to only find that more of the costumes were stolen, which makes Patrick upset.
Velma, I'm sorry, I have to go, okay?
Well, I'll go with you.
No! No, I have to figure out what's going on.
Like, why was I in Family Guy for over 20 years? Meanwhile, Daphne tries to get some answers out of Alicia.
Why are you doing this?
Because it's my job to unmask those who pretend to be who they're not. Look, I'm a huge fan.
Said no one when making this movie. But then the evil masked figure arrives to trick us into thinking that Alicia isn't the bad guy, because now they want us to think that it's Patrick.
Gotta put on the tough guy act, otherwise these guys will eat me alive.
It was a joke? Yeah. Oh, that was good. Look, Patrick, we could stay here and do this all night, and something tells me you would, but we gotta make like your personality and split.
Okay.
Now I'm just gonna stay here until the cross dissolve comes and... done. Shaggy and Scooby follow Winkles to an old mine shaft as they hide in bushes. Hey, take a guess on which one's shitty CG.
Winkles has led us into like a terrifying ghost town. Ghost town? Yes, a ghost town.
Well, that just works perfect with the scream he did in the last movie. Yeah, Scooby-Doo surprisingly has a lot of nightmare fuel. So Fred, Velma, and Daphne see Winkles and decide to call him out. But it turns out that his original intention was to turn the mines into an amusement park, which means they can cross him off as a suspect. Meanwhile, Shaggy and Scooby find a lab at the bottom of the mine shaft.
Let's see, we got OJ, some purple stuff, milk, ooh, Sunny D.
Check it out. Look at those weird letters, Scoob.
Maggie? Like Scoob, your tentacle hentai!
I just hope it doesn't get creepier than this.
I've got a chick's body!
Okay, that's just someone's post on DeviantArt. They continue to drink the mysterious liquids until Scooby turns into a genius. Essentially, the brain from Gremlins 2. Sorry I keep bringing up Gremlins in this video. I think it's because I like those puppets better than... well, this puppet. And Shaggy's now a bodybuilder.
Check out my pecs, little man!
Wow, look at the structure of this bodybuilding god!
Oh, just shut up! Look, at first the meme was kind of funny, but now you're just being an asshole about it!
So what, you want me to leave?
Yes!
I don't need this! I'm gonna make a lowercase Twitter post about you!
He'll be fine. They all meet up to find the Monster Maker machine. After splitting up, Shaggy and Scooby find a device when making noise sounds like music.
Cool! Like tunage! My name is Shaggy Flash, and I'm the best at solving crimes. When the monsters see my face, they start to scream and shake like a girl with Justin Timberlake.
Like Scoob, this shit's gonna be hot!
This is gonna be hot on SoundCloud!
Of course, not knowing that this is the device that turns on the machine, as it begins to create the rest of the monsters. And I do have to admit that it's pretty cool how they look almost like their cartoon counterparts. So finally they get something right in these movies.
We have to remain calm. Calm, Scooby-Doo! You're not being calm! I needed that. I needed that too. You're pushing your luck, Scoob.
Okay, that part was funny. They all get out of there with the monsters being free to terrorize the town.
My monsters can make life very unpleasant. Find me Mystery Inc. now.
Man, these Halloween parades are getting out of hand. They go back to her old clubhouse to hide, where we have a flashback to when they were kids. But looking back to how they look now, not much of a difference.
It all seemed so easy back then.
Yeah. We solve mysteries for the love of them. Not to prove anything to anyone.
Even though that's what solving a mystery pretty much means. They come up with a plan to modify the device, which will make the monsters go back to just being costumes. But they seem to find them, seeing how it's pretty much due to a place being called Mystery Inc., and then proceed to chase them again, this time throughout the city. They get back to the mines, but are stopped by the Black Knight and 10,000 Vault Ghosts. So for the night, they go with the obvious person to fight him. Fred. Even though Daphne knows how to fight this guy, but there are two reasons on why they did this. One, for Fred to make his dick feel bigger, and two, just so they can have Bon Jovi on the soundtrack.
By the way, audience, if you're asking where I got this horse, I pulled it out of my ass.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Daphne has a better chance with the 10,000 Vault Ghost.
Taste the pain, Mr. Glowy Ugly Thing.
Dead. Oh, nope, completely fine. I guess anybody in this universe could be a demigod.
On your knees, knave.
Can't you see we're talking?
Talking is for wimps.
Can't fool me with that macho facade. You're just afraid to show your sensitive side.
Ooh, you've touched my inner child. And he's really mad! I am acting!
Oh hey look, another chase scene. Haven't seen that yet in this movie. But don't worry, it's followed by making us once again believe that Patrick is the bad guy, as he's then carried away by the pterodactyl ghost. You know, for being the first monster in this movie, he's barely in the damn thing. They try to get the device back to the machine, but big surprise, the monster made it there first. Once the tar monster gets involved, it seems that the gang is out of commission, but Scooby comes equipped with a fire extinguisher that's somehow able to freeze tar. Well, to be fair, it's something to put in the advertisements for the movie.
You can't do this to me! Who do you think you are? Scooby? Scooby? Go!
Okay, being honest, that line was pretty badass.
Mr. Evil Masked Figure, we don't feel so good!
So the monsters are reverted to their original costumes, as we see that the Evil Masked Figure is... gasp, it was Alicia the whole time.
Lucky for her, she had an assistant helping her along with her evil plans. Ned.
Who the hell's Ned? Oh, the cameraman we saw a grand total of 2 times? And that was just him being in the background? Man, these twists are just a mile a minute! But it also turns out that Alicia was actually the original pterodactyl ghost. I hope Tim Blake Nelson got a big paycheck for this movie.
You were a dude this whole time?
Of course, Dummkopf.
But we cuddled.
I always wonder why there was something touching my butt. But after the movie's over, they have yet another Marvel end credit scene. But unlike the last movie where it was an actual scene, this was just a commercial for the Game Boy Advance game.
Game Boy Advance Secret Code?
Wow, they're very sure to promote a game that didn't do very well.
Hey, listen, I just wanted to apologize for how I acted today. I guess I kinda got a little bit out of hand with me liking the meme and all.
Yeah, I think this was a good example of liking something way too much. I mean, Look at some Rick and Morty fans.
I take a Rick! What below the Rick!
Yeah, that's pretty cringeworthy. So I just wanted to say that I'm sorry.
Okay. Apology accepted.
Thank you.
So now what? You gonna take the whole shoving something down people's throat thing and tone it down a bit?
Nah, cause now I'm gonna tell people about Cory in the House, the greatest anime ever made. See you later, hater!
You know, I really hope he doesn't become a recurring character. So that was the first two live-action Scooby-Doo movies. I'll give them this. Matthew Lillard was pretty good, the monsters in the second one were cool to see, and there were some scenes that made me chuckle, but they're still not very good. The writing was lame, the effects haven't aged well and looked bad, the majority of the jokes weren't funny, and the fake-outs in both movies were really stupid. Look, if you like these films, that's fine. More power to you. But as for me, these are two movies I won't be coming back to anytime soon. I mean, aside from what I just said, were there any upsides to either of these? Okay, that's one upside. Or at least something went up. See you next time! So these movies exist. Here's a little fun fact for you guys. Originally I was going to talk about these two movies in 2015, but due to some real life and personal issues, I decided to hold back on the idea. So, no better to get to them now for this marathon. Known as the third and fourth live-action Scooby-Doo movies, Mystery Begins and Curse of the Lake Monster were released in 2009 and 2010 on Cartoon Network. Well, before shows like Adventure Time and Steven Universe, this channel has had some dark times. For this episode, let's begin with the first out of these two, The Mystery Begins, which advertises itself as a prequel showing how the gang met and the events of their first case. Even though technically we already had a prequel with a pup named Scooby-Doo. This was already giving me bad signs because, like I said earlier, this was released in 2009. Why is that bad? Because this was the exact same year that gave us Ace Ventura Jr. And if you've been around here for quite some time, you would know that I really don't like that movie. Okay. Maybe I'm just fearing for the worst. I mean, it can't be that bad. Let's see who directed this. Alright, let's see here. Brian Levant. Where have I heard that name before? Let's see what else he's done. Okay, he's the same guy who did Jingle All the Way. Not a very good movie, but a guilty pleasure in my opinion at least. And he's also done... No. This can't be true. He's the same guy that made Christmas Story 2, yet another movie that destroyed something I liked from my childhood. Well, there's no good signs here, which means we're screwed. Let's get this over with. This is Scooby-Doo The Mystery Begins. We open in the city of Coolsville, which makes me wonder if the opposite town of here would be called Dorksville. As we're introduced to this movie's version of Peter Parker, I mean Shaggy, arriving late to the school bus, we also see the new versions of Velma, Daphne, and Fred, who's not blonde in this version. What's that? I'm supposed to be angry about this? Okay. So, how could they make Fred not a blonde? This minor change has me outraged. 0 out of 10, hashtag not my Fred. They arrive to school where Shaggy enters the principal's office, who notices that he still doesn't have any friends. So he decides to help Shaggy by getting him into the hobby of stamp collecting.
Now, if you look closely, you'll notice that the jackrabbit has only one eye. It's a misprint. Those are the most valuable.
Wow, not even 10 minutes into the movie and they already gave away who the villain is. I mean, who in the hell is gonna fall for this? Look at the face he gives here. That's the face of someone who is not subtle about being a bad guy. It doesn't help that they even have a picture of him being unmasked on the film's IMDb page. You have to be on a new level of lazy to not even try. Meanwhile, we cut to a pet adoption event that the town is having, where we're introduced to the pet of the day. Oh gee, I wonder who it might be.
Meet our pet of the day. He's very affectionate.
Well, that took me by surprise. Here I was thinking it might be Droopy. Also, you gotta love how the CGI on this dog is able to look worse than the last two movies. Anyway, we see Scooby is hoping to get adopted, but everyone is too creeped out by him. Even when he's close to getting picked up, they're terrified by the simple things that pets do. Oh my god, a dog licking apocalypse! They begin to take him back to the kennel and... Wait a minute, I recognize this town. Oh shit, we're in the Woody Woodpecker movie! Oh no, you will not hurt me again! He falls out of the truck when later that night, he comes across an abandoned cemetery, where for some reason, the ghosts of the deceased begin to rise. Scooby runs away from the sight of them, and by pure freaking coincidence, he runs into Shaggy. Like it's the dog of a KKK member, man!
My name's Norville, but most people call me Shaggy. Right? Well then, it's nice to meet you, Scooby-Doo.
Nice to meet you, Maggie.
So because of this chain of events, this leads into Shaggy and Scooby becoming friends. As we see them playing frisbee, eating each other's food like in the cartoon, and Shaggy getting belly rubs. Okay, I seriously want to know how much they paid the actor to do this. The next day, Shaggy decides to take Scooby to school with him, as we see him in disguise. And I get that he's supposed to look like a high school student, but the way he has his hoodie draped over him, it makes Scooby look like a drug dealer.
Hey, you looking to get high? Because I got that good shit.
So a bully on the bus makes Shaggy trip, as Scooby bites him, which causes a fight on the bus with everyone there. Mainly our main characters, because everyone else is just standing there watching the fight. If this was done nowadays, someone on the bus will pull out their phone and start shouting, "World Star!" Oh gee, I wonder what's gonna happen.
My new car.
Oh well, now that took me by surprise. I'll stick to a giant mound of burger crushing Sinbad's car. Thank you very much. So the vice principal, played by Gary Chalk, takes our usual suspects into the library for detention. Nothing else to say because this character is just here to make us think that someone else is the villain, as well as the same with the librarian.
The rules for detention are the same as they are in the library. That means no talking, no texting, and no eating.
No fair! So, like, what the heck are we supposed to do in a library for 2 hours?
Try reading a book. Bad enough they cut my budget, now I've got to do double duty with a bunch of illiterates.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she's the mastermind behind all of this. I should point out that the librarian is played by Lorena Gale, who, during production of this movie, unfortunately passed away due to a battle of throat cancer. So please understand that I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead. I'm poking fun at the character, not the actor. With that said, let's get back to the movie. While they're in detention, the film decides to turn into a school play's rendition of Ghostbusters. Can you help us get to the set of the Haunted Mansion movie? They run into the middle of a prep rally where the ghosts follow them and reveal the big baddie for the movie.
Students of Coolsville High, leave this place now!
The mask from the opening of a Three Stooges short?
Well, I suppose we should consider canceling classes tomorrow.
What? Cancel classes? With all due respect, sir, I strongly disagree.
But
It's obvious what's going on around.
The vice principal thinks our main characters are to blame for this and thinks it was just a prank. How? I mean, they were in the librarian for like 3 minutes and needed more time to prep for this if they did do it. Oh, of course! Silly me for trying to add logic into something so stupid. And to add more fuel to the fake-out fire, he even suspends them because they really want us to think that it's him. Plus, it doesn't help that this character's name is Grimes. Now, you may think of it as the name of the Canadian singer, but if you take the S and just have grime, you'll have something that is defined as dirt and grain on the surface of something. I swear, they're not even trying.
I know someone who can help us clear our names. Scooby-Doo, where are you?
Right here.
Oh hey, he said the thing. Shaggy invites him over to his place to look up on what the villain, who is named the Spectre, wants, as it turns out that he's after the school's time capsule. So they break into the school later that night to begin looking for it. By the way, you gotta love how right behind him there's a banner that says, all about character. This feels like Brian Levant is telling us, sure, these characters don't look or act like how you know them as growing up, but don't forget, it's all about character. In fact, I think that's the same mentality that was used for these movies.
Jinkies, look at this.
What is it?
I'm not sure.
Clearly it's from the people who were shooting the porn parody. Oh, I mean, it's ectoplasm. Yeah, that's it. They go sneak up on them disguised as football mannequins as they proceed to chase our heroes. One of them even tries to tie Fred up. I've seen Nightmare on Elm Street 2, so I pray to God this does not lead to him being butt naked in the shower.
That's how a cougar does it.
Okay, I never want you to say that again. Shaggy and Scooby hide in the freezer and somehow are able to survive the whole night locked in there. I'm surprised they don't look like this after they open the door.
Well, I am pleased to inform you that your suspensions have been lifted.
Hallelujah!
Because now you're all expelled.
Even better! Oh, wait.
They all get expelled because, once again, they want us to think that Grimes is the bad guy. Shaggy begins to think about the usual suspects as they all decide to go back to school and try to interview them. But seeing how they can't be seen at the school, they have to go in disguise. Where we see Daphne just finished prettying up Velma. This is the same thing they did in the second movie. I would do the same reaction like I did before, but seeing how this is a high school student, that would mean I have to go to jail.
Rubber, rubber.
You can say that again, Scoob.
Rubber, rubber.
What is it with Scooby-Doo and having this dog getting the hots on human females? Was this in the cartoon? Did I miss the episode where the guest star was this gross chick? So they all go to school in their disguises. Fred goes as a background character from Malibu's Most Wanted, Daphne is someone who wants attention, and Shaggy and Scooby are in trash cans, which did make me chuckle. We then see the librarian catches Velma, but she quickly makes her think that she's a foreign exchange student.
I spent a semester studying the language at the University of Moscow. Я провела много чудесного времени в Москве. Люди замечательные, и я люблю запах Москвы весной.
Да, Bella не очень. Без твоего носа.
Oh, I miss the Russian sense of humor.
This disguise is so stupid, it could work in the Gem and the Holograms movie. What's this? Huh. Turns out that she was actually in that one. I guess her agent has a thing for her being in shitty cartoon adaptations. If that's the case, fire him! They're unable to get any information out of the librarian, so their next suspect is Grimes. Because they still want us to think that he's the bad guy. Okay, I think you guys get the point. As they plan to go to his house at the top of a mountain. How the hell is he able to afford that? Teachers get paid diddly dick, and he's able to live in a nice house all the way up there? Did he have the almost exact plan as Gindrick? They say that none of them could drive, but Shaggy can because it turns out that he has his license.
I was born on a leap year, and I'm very tall for my age. It's because of a pituitary condition, and
Shaggy.
Oh, let go right, I got held back. Twice.
Thank you for that detour to Scooby's thought process. Seriously, it was much needed. They all go to Daphne's place to pick up a car. Gee, I wonder which one they'll choose. Well, no shit.
All it needs is a makeover, right? I was thinking maybe some blue and some big orange flowers. Huh? That'd be cool, right?
Yeah.
300,000 miles. And it's a mystery this machine still runs.
They drive up the mountain where the signs are painted with that chiller font that anyone could get for free. No, really, it's this one. See? As they arrive to his house and begin looking for clues.
Time capsule.
Remember? They were going to bury it on the school's opening day. but they never did.
That's right, because of the Coolsville flood.
Exactly. So that means that the time capsule is still inside the old school.
Which is buried 200 feet under the new school.
We did it! We solved the mystery!
Yeah, no. The ghosts turn out to be there as well, as they begin to chase our heroes out of the house where the Spectre is waiting for them. He sprays them with the same sleeping gas that the Green Goblin had. As they wake up in the school with a giant hole made in the gym. He tells them to find a time capsule, and if they don't, he'll kill Scooby.
You'll never get away with this, Vice Principal Grimes.
Grimes? That was one piece of the puzzle you never managed to put into place.
Wait, you telling me that it wasn't Grimes? Oh, this movie's totally keeping me guessing.
Just remember, dogs don't have 9 lives.
Oh shit, he knows that I'll be in that movie in the future. I gotta get out of here! They go down the hole to look for the time capsule, but the set begins to fall on the actors.
Are you okay?
Never better.
Was there really anyone trying to ship Fred and Velma? If so, anyone with half a brain cell would know that it doesn't go anywhere. Anyway, they don't seem to find the time capsule as they trick the Spectre to come down. They manage to trap him and plan to leave him in one of the rooms. How in the hell is all that water in there? This looks to be many years old, and if there was a pipe burst, this whole place should have been flooded. Is it like Big Fat Liar and this was a movie set and someone in the back just activated the water? Screw the time capsule, they should be figuring out the mystery of this damn room. They manage to find a book that has a spell to get rid of the ghost, but they accidentally read the one that frees all the ghosts in the city, to only later on read the right spell and put them back in their graves. Well then what the hell was the point of that other spell? You could have cut it out of the movie and it wouldn't change a damn thing.
You think that changes anything? I'm still the only one getting out of here!
If you're asking where I got this dynamite, I pulled it out of my ass. With the fuse already lit.
But then Scooby is able to free himself as he proceeds to tie the Spectre up. And now we will see who it really is, no shit.
What could be in the time capsule that's so valuable? A principal would want to close his own school.
Only one way to find out. It's just a bunch of old letters and papers and stuff.
Not just letters. Letters with stamps. And look at this one. It's a misprint.
Yes, the eerie stamp. The most valuable misprint in the entire world.
So, raising ghosts from beyond the grave and causing damage to school property, all that was for a freaking stamp? Hell, even our heroes are baffled by it.
This doesn't make any sense.
I mean, is it really that hard to get your lazy ass onto eBay and buy the stamp?
It would have been all mine. If it weren't for you meddling kids and your dog.
He said it! He said it!
They're of course congratulated by the town, agree to solve mysteries like this more often, as we get a montage of scenes that recreates moments from both the cartoon and the other live action movies, which you would be better off watching rather than this. Because honestly, would you even remember this origin story? Sure, the acting is okay, and the effects for a TV movie are decent at some parts, but aside from that, the rest of the film is just generic and forgettable. At least with the last two movies, there were some scenes I found memorable and gave me a few chuckles. None of that was in this one. I mean, for an average kids movie, it's harmless at best, but at its worst, however, yeah, this is worth skipping by. But we do got a sequel to look at next time. I mean, who knows? Maybe they made some improvement with this one.
My name is Shaggy. I like to eat. My main man's Scooby, but he got 4 feet.
Me and my homies solve mysteries through cartoons, movies, and tons of DVDs.
As old school goes, we're genuine. We've been kicking it since 1969. But Mystery Inc. is fun.
My name is Shaggy.
I like to eat. Made me a Scooby, but he got 4 feet. Me and my homies solve mysteries through cartoons, movies, and tons of DVDs.
As old school goes, we're genuine. We've been kicking it since
1969.
But mystery.
Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
We've got to have money.
I said in the last episode, seeing how the mystery begins left a generic and unmemorable taste in my mouth, and was hoping that this movie could have some room to improve. But there is one little problem with that. This came out 1 year later! So yeah, they wanted to do this one either because they had passion in the project, or they wanted to make a quick buck.
Me and my homies solve mysteries through cartoons, movies, and tons of DVDs.
I think I'm going on the ladder with this one, you guys. From what I've heard, this one is either the worst Scooby-Doo movie yet, or the worst one ever. But can it be that bad? Does it really deserve all the hate it's gotten since being released all those years ago? Well... yeah... This is Scooby-Doo Curse of the Lake Monster. We start off with the gang chasing and then being chased by a hooded figure around this house, as they catch it and are shocked by who it is.
It's you?
What? Like it can't be.
It turns out that took place in the future, as the movie takes place in the past leading up to those events. Oh man, I'm on the edge of my seat! I should probably scoot back. There's more room on here. We see Shaggy's waiting for summer vacation to begin. As the bell rings, he runs outside the school to see everyone's having a Hawaiian-themed party! But of course, all of this is in Shaggy's head. Oh, so this is where Fred 3 got it. That shouldn't be a good thing. Shaggy and Scooby meet up with Velma so they can join Fred and Daphne in the Mystery Machine.
Like her?
Shinkies.
Okay, there's something kind of creepy yet hilarious of Scooby taking that picture. Gonna put this in the spank bank for later. You might be wondering how these two got together. Well, during one of their cases, Daphne fell out of a barn and landed in Fred's arms. That's it. It's literally love at first sight. The flashback in the first movie had a better explanation than this. They arrived at their summer job, which is working at a country club ran by Daphne's uncle. I guess he got tired of being friends with Louis Goldnick.
Uncle Thorny, this is the gang. This is Shaggy.
Hi.
Fred.
Oh.
Velma. Pleasure. And
Scooby-Doo. Nice to meet you, Uncle Tony. Smile.
You gotta love that everyone in this franchise's world is perfectly fine with a dog that can talk. Sure, it's normal for Scooby-Doo, but in reality, I think this is how it would go down. Nice to meet you. Why does everybody do that? While unpacking, Shaggy falls off the top of the van and lands in the arms of Velma, which proceeds to have him begin falling in love with her. I guess this could be a reference to the Mystery Incorporated cartoon which had these two as a couple. Plus, it gave birth to my favorite line from Scooby in that show.
Stop it, Shaggy. I'm not stupid. Are you cheating on me?
I don't know what it is about, but that makes me laugh my ass off. But here, it's just a side plot to be put in the movie. Anyway, Shaggy talks about being in love with Velma to Scooby, as he gets this response.
Do you think it's possible that... I don't know... that she and I are... meant to be? Thanks for the support, pal. I'll remember this come flea season.
Okay, I get it. He's laughing because he finds that really hard to believe. But the famous laugh we know of this dog is like 3 seconds long. Here having him laugh almost like a human is pretty creepy. Fun fact, this along with the other terrifying Scooby-Doo live action moments are played on a continuous loop when you go to hell. Shaggy meets up with Velma on the beach to try and express his emotions to her, but she's distracted after finding a Chaos Emerald? Hey, find 6 more and we'll get a good Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Because right now, what the shit is this? Later that night, the country club is having a little banquet when all of a sudden the power goes out, fog begins to enter the tent, as everyone sees the silhouette of... Gillman? Well, give it credit. Still looks better than the Rampage movie.
That thing can't be real. Can it?
I don't know, but I'm not getting close enough to find out.
Hi.
You gotta love how Shaggy sees this monster, and his first reaction is to be like, hey, that's groovy, dude. Of course, everyone is scared enough that they might not come back to the country club, which makes Daphne's uncle upset. But they tell him not to worry, as they're going to figure out the mystery of this lake monster. The first suspect is a man who lives near a lighthouse and...
By the light of the silvery moon,
Okay, guess we're taking a detour from the plot to have a song number. We now have Shaggy daydreaming about Velma while singing By the Light of the Silvery Moon. This kind of reminds me of that song number from the first Fred movie. And if I have to bring up not one, but 2 of those movies while talking about your movie, then you know we're in bad shape. But then for some reason halfway through the fantasy, they do a rendition of the song in the way of Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones. What? Okay, look, I already have one bad live action adaptation destroying one of my favorite songs. I don't need another! You know, I just realized something. So far, most of this movie seems to remind me of bad shit from other movies I've already talked about. Is it possible that this movie has some sort of evil power? And is able to travel through time to see other bad movies, to study them, and see how they could be able to piss me off? Nah, this movie's just shit. Getting back to the story, they seem to come across the lake monster. Man, the effects budget really went down. Actually, it's a guy in a suit who scares people on the beach at night. Well, to be fair, he did scare people when living in Hell House. He invites them inside and tells them the story of a witch who claimed this land many years ago. You know, this backstory would be interesting if I wasn't thinking about watching The Witch's Ghost. It'd be much better viewing than this. I mean, it has Tim Curry. That man could do no wrong.
And one day, she fulfilled her dark oath. Using her magical staff, she cast a spell upon an innocent creature of the lake.
Or as anyone else will call it, a frog. So what I got from all of that is the witch warned people to stay off the land, then she cast a spell on a frog becoming Gillman, as it proceeds to go out and get those who did listen to our warning. Again, is it too late for me to start watching this? I mean, come on you guys. It has Tim Curry! The next day, the gang's going through security footage of the witch to see who it is, but the computer is fried due to Velma spilling her tea on it. Well, there's no way that she did it on purpose so that it could be a twist to make her a part of the villain's plan. Spoiler alert, that is totally the reason. Later that night while making a snack with Scooby, Shaggy begins to smell the scent of Velma.
Is that Oda Dinkley I detect?
Raggy? Raggy?
Okay, even for this series, that's a new definition of weird.
Velma!
Uncle Joe? Buffy? Paul? Jim? Chief? McCloud?
Velma, is that you?
He sees Gillman and runs away with friend Daphne following behind him in a really bad day for night shot. They split up with Scooby saving Shaggy on an ATV to only land in a sand trap, but they do find another one of those gems they found on the beach. Meanwhile, Fred and Daphne are hiding in a sports equipment store in disguises, which just so happens to be the old outfits from the cartoon. It's good to know that Levan is still losing the same mentality as the last movie. They all meet up to see what Gillman has done to the country club as Daphne's uncle begins to fear for the worst.
Canceled memberships and now all this damage. I hate to say it, I may have no choice but to shut this place down and go back to my life as an international playboy.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
The next day, they find Velma on the beach and notice that she has warts on her hands. So, her always disappearing when Gilman appears, waking up with no memory of the previous night, and now having warts on her hands? Yeah, nothing suspicious here. They begin to figure out more on the witch, but Shaggy finally has the guts to ask Velma out on a date. She accepts as they both meet up later that night.
Good evening, Norval. Shaggy, aren't you gonna say anything?
I like corn dogs.
Well, I've got to hand it to them. That might just be the dumbest line in the movie. Early in the movie, we see that Scooby has become jealous that Shaggy wants to spend more time with Velma rather than him, as we see him try to ruin their date.
Scooby, get out of here, buddy. You're gonna ruin everything. No. Okay. But would you do it for, a Scooby snack?
I can't be bought.
Now you listen, Scoob. I'm the master, and I command you to go back to your room and quit being such a bad dog.
Puppy loving. Bad dog. I'll show you a bad dog.
Well, I know what's going to be in my nightmares tonight. It's this CG monster staring into my soul. The date is then cancelled as Velma becomes more attracted to the gem Shaggy found, as it makes him and Scooby have a huge fight, which is followed by them drawing a line in the room with acne paint and Shaggy reading a Batman comic. Get it? Because those are two properties of Warner Brothers. They're able to get information of the witch, as it turns out that she has an ancestor. So they go to her house to reveal that the witch is already there, resulting in the classic chase scene from the cartoon, which then leads into the beginning of the movie, ending with them catching her to reveal who it is.
It's you?
What? Like it can be!
Velma?
No!
She's able to escape as the ancestor wakes up after being knocked out. She explains that as soon as Velma touched one of the gems, it woke the spirit and compelled her to find the rest of them.
Like zoinks! It's been right under our noses.
Like, we really suck as detectives, man! They manage to find the possessed Velma in a cave, as she's getting ready to make some friends for Gilman.
Oh, you've been a faithful servant.
And now, I think you deserve some playmates.
Rise, my slithering slaves! Rise and serve your new master!
Well, no wonder she didn't want people on her land. She was trying to make a Battletoads movie. Shaggy tries to save Velma by making her cast the witch out, as the Frogmen are chasing Fred, Daphne, and Scooby.
Run! Run!
Holy shit! He just took that down with one punch! The hell with Shaggy. I think we all know who the real demigod is.
Yeah, I think you might be right on this one. Wait a minute! How'd you get in here?
Your door was unlocked.
So, you were just standing in the corner of my room this whole time?
Yup.
Well, that's not creepy.
Ah, get over it. You've had worse people come in here. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna make another lowercase Twitter post about Pro Jared sending dick pics.
I gotta remember to lock my door when I'm filming these. It seems Shaggy isn't doing well to save Velma, so he tries singing By the Light of the Silvery Moon. Wait, why would that work if that was in his fantasy? Plus, I don't think even Velma would know that song. But who cares, it works anyway, as the witch and the frogmen are defeated by the power of love. God, this is stupid. This, of course, leads to Shaggy and Velma kissing. But there's a twist.
I don't know too much about chemistry.
I do. Shaggy and, well, there just wasn't any.
Well now, that just makes this dumbass subplot entirely pointless. Anyone else agree? Please raise your middle finger. Yeah, that's what I thought. They're of course thanked by Daphne's uncle with a check for $10,000 as they agree to make their own detective agency called Mystery Incorporated, as Scooby slips into some hijinks leading him to land in the arms of Shaggy. Wait, why is Scooby getting the same love at first sight treatment like the others? You don't think that means... Okay, well, to be fair, I would expect fanfiction of Shaggy and Scooby than I would of Shaggy and Velma. The movie ends with the gang singing a song in the way of many different genres, and I think you already know how I feel about this.
Me and my homies solve mysteries through cartoons, movies, and tons of DVDs.
As old school goes, we're genuine. We've been kicking it since
1969.
But Mystery Inc. is
Turn it up!
always more adventures.
Turn me,
Scooby-Doo!
So that was Scooby-Doo Curse of the Lake Monster. What a surprise, it sucks. It's essentially the same issue I had with Shark Tale, where it's nowhere near as bad as other movies I've seen, however it is a chore to get through. This just feels like a sequel that was not needed in the first place. A part of me wishes that Levant should have just stuck with one Scooby-Doo movie. Oh, what am I kidding? All of me wishes that he would have just done one movie. This is just a bad and unnecessary sequel. Plain and simple. Well, we can only hope the next movie to end this marathon can't be worse than this. I mean, it's not like they could do another origin story for these characters but only follow two of them and have nothing to do with the original source material. I mean, that would just be stupid. I'll see you guys next time. What am I reviewing next time?
You're not even trying anymore, are you?
So here it is, the final movie in our Scooby-Doo Live Action Marathon, Daphne and Velma. Could this be even worse than Curse of the Lake Monster? The torture finally comes to an end, but the torture is all mine. Let's just get this over with. The film opens with a video for Ridge Valley High School, a place that is so high-tech that... what the Scooby-Dooby dung is that? Apparently the school has terrible pay for their teachers that they had to make robots to do the teaching. It looks like they turned a crash test dummy into the endoskeleton of a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic. To be fair, it looks better than what this film's production company Blue Ribbon Content is doing with the banana splits. Yeah, that's a thing that's happening. Anyway, this girl walks down a hallway and notices a bright light and fog coming from this locker, and proceeds to walk inside it. That's what we get for our dumbass mystery so far. People getting attracted by something inside this locker and are compelled to go inside it. Afterwards, we're introduced to this movie's version of Daphne Velma played by two actresses that are both named Sarah. Not spelled differently or anything. So that must have been confusing during the filming of this. Alright Sarah, so what you're gonna do in this scene is... Oh, not you, Sarah. I was talking to Sarah. Yes, you, Sarah, not the Sarah I just said no to. Okay, Sarah, I'm really counting on you to drive this scene and... Oh, I didn't mean you, Sarah. I was talking to Sarah. Yes, you, Sarah, not the Sarah I just said no to. You can see that this probably gave the people who made this movie a headache when directing these two.
Aliens did not mess with that theme park, Daphne.
Maybe they did, Velma. We don't know.
Statistically, it's 100% more likely that a system malfunction caused those rides to turn on.
It's also established that these two are on the line of being conspiracy theorists. On one hand, that's understandable, they like getting into mysteries. But on the other hand, seeing how Daphne has an alien head on her pen later on in the film, and has pictures of Bigfoot in her room, it just makes them look... well...
100% but fucking sane.
So after talking to Velma on Skype, Daphne goes downstairs to have breakfast with her mom and... Arwen? I guess he finally got his act together after working at the Tempton.
I'm just so thrilled to finally meet Tobias Bloom. Hashtag job goals. Is that not a thing anymore?
Not really.
Oh, come on, sweetie. I'm not being hip or funky fresh enough for you fellow kids. Anyway, Arwen drops Daphne off at her first day at Ridge Valley High, where she meets her senior advisor, Carol, who also introduces Daphne to some other students named Michaela and Hipster. Yeah, I know he has a real name, but look at him. It's like he's about to tell me that this one thing isn't as good as this newer thing, while sipping from a tall, non-fat latte with caramel drizzle from Starbucks. Even when I try to say his real name, it just comes out as Hipster. Here, let me show you. This guy's name is Hipster. See what I mean? While they get to know each other, Carol shows Daphne a giant leaderboard that the school has which ranks you on your popularity. For example, your grades, sports, and extracurricular activities. Man, I feel sorry for the people at the very bottom of the ranking. Yeah, that won't put a toll on their self-esteem, you assholes. And apparently it also ranks you based on how active you are on social media. Why the hell would that be a thing? Alright everybody, let's give a big round of applause to Christine for her time on Facebook. Now let's go ahead and check to see what made her get to where she is today. Oh wow! It's 500 pictures of her stupid dog! Isn't that marvelous? Daphne then realizes that Velma goes to the school as well, so she tries to talk to her, but for some reason Velma wants nothing to do with Daphne.
Well, do you want to get lunch later? We could tell everyone about the curse of Crystal Cove.
I can't have lunch with you, Daphne. Not today, not ever.
What? Why?
My mom.
Thus, by that look from the janitor, we already have our first fake out for the villain. By the way, how the hell could Velma not see her clean the floor? It's not like there was a turn in the hallway. No, she walked right into the janitor while she was mopping. I think she might need to change her prescription.
Yikes. That's gotta hurt. Yeah, I hope Velma's okay.
No, I mean, that's gotta hurt.
Wait, that event just happened, and they're that quick to start making hip and dig memes of Velma tripping? People around here must be quick to the draw on making those hot and spicy memes. Also, I hope you like this movie trying to be hip and cool with shit like this, because there's a lot more of it to come. While Daphne tries to talk to Velma again, they notice the hallway lights flickering, followed by Hipster walking into the same locker as that girl from the beginning of the film. I guess the villain must have a device that hypnotizes people and lures them in with something they like. I'm not sure what the girl from the beginning saw, but it's pretty obvious what Hipster saw. Wow, something that I hate is no longer popular. I like that thing now. They both try to investigate the locker, but Ari comes in to stop them, tackling Velma to the ground. Well, one thing's for sure, he's going to get in trouble for putting his hands on the minor. Anyway, later that night, he breaks it to Velma that her life isn't perfect, and some of the things that happened to her earlier that day was all the work of him. Some which don't make sense, seeing how he must have been really quick to the draw, or has had everything planned out ahead of time. Daphne tries to get a hold of Velma to talk to her, but seeing how she didn't get the message from earlier, Velma doesn't want anything to do with her clingy ass. Especially with the third text within the span of 15 minutes. The next day, Daphne talks to Carol and... Oh look, green or purple. That's what she wore in the cartoon. It's all about character, you guys. So while talking, Carol shows off more tech that the school has, like an app that changes the color and design of any shirt.
Oh, you love aliens.
I love aliens.
Well, it's yours to keep. Just feel free to incinerate your other outfit.
I will do that. Thank you.
And there you have it. 21 minutes in, and they already gave away who the villain is. I know for some of these past Scooby-Doo movies I've already given away the villain's identity, but I'm sorry. Sometimes it's pretty obvious who it is. The biggest examples I've seen so far is this and The Mystery Begins. Just the look itself has already gave away that they did it. Later on in science class, Daphne notices that Hipster isn't acting like himself, but is instead acting a little brain dead. Well, that would have been a weird thing for his parents to see when he came home from school that day. That would be something to forget to put in the commercial for this place. Welcome to Ridge Valley High. We aim to give your kid the education that he or she deserves. Most of the teachers are robots, and the students get their teaching from the latest iPhone or tablet because we can't afford actual books due to paying for the technology of these endoskeletons for any of these Five Nights at Freddy's rejects. Oh, and there might be the chance of your child coming home acting more stupid than they were coming in here. Tuition's $15,000, by the way. Daphne tries to tell Velma about Hipster's behavior, but her clinginess forgets that Velma wants nothing to do with her, as she proceeds to sabotage their project, leading them both into the office of Principal Piper, played by Mad TV star Arden Marin. She notices that they both won't apologize to each other, so she uses this thing called a Timothy bot and activates, I guess, some sort of Bluetooth technology inside the couch.
It's still in beta testing, but don't worry, girls. Since it's the first time for all of us, we won't do anything too extreme. Extreme mode activated. No, wait. I didn't say that. Stop! Turn it off.
Okay, this is turning into a trap you would see in a Saw movie.
Hello, Daphne and Velma. I want to play a game. It seems that you two can't appreciate one another. That's why I programmed this IKEA death trap to crush both of you. Will you let that happen? Or learn to be friends and apologize to one another. Live or die. That's your choice.
I'm sorry, Daphne. Friendship detected. I really am your friend. Resolved.
They of course apologize to each other and become friends again. Now from seeing this, it feels like we're about halfway or close to the last third of the movie, right? But nope, we're only a half hour in. Keep in mind that this movie's only 75 minutes, but man, it feels way longer than that. They try to get some information from Carol about Hipster's behavior, and it's here where I noticed that Velma is wearing the classic orange sweater, which would be fine, but they went ahead and drive the point home that this is the same character from the cartoon, and made her have a pin on the sweater that's in the shape of her glasses. Again, it's all about character, everybody! They need to get into the locker, so Daphne asks Velma to see if she can cook something up.
You were a good robot, but your time has come. I really wish I hadn't programmed you with human emotions.
Man, live action Wall-E took a dark turn. The next day, during a school assembly, Piper announces the newest person on top of their stupid leaderboard. This one student whose name I don't know and don't care to look up. So I'm gonna call him Sports McJock. But then the man behind all the technology in the school, Tobias Bloom, comes out when all of a sudden it turns into a showcase for the newest Apple product.
A 3D printer. We have them in every single classroom. But what if I told you that this printer was for food? Boom print. I'd like a slice of pizza.
No way.
Wow! It's not like I could get off my ass and order a pizza! Also, is it just me, or is this on the lines of ripping off that microwave from Back to the Future 2? Daphne and Velma are able to sneak out of the assembly and try to break into the locker. And it's here when I realized they didn't even try to make Velma look like Velma because clearly, she's Mario. Hello, it's me, Velma. I'm gonna solve this mystery. Woohoo! They try picking the lock with a device Velma made along with some Nickelodeon's gag. But when they open it up, they notice that nothing is there, as they're caught by Piper, who punishes them with lunch lady duty and makes them wear shame stickers. Wait, what?
How do you feel? Exactly the same. But shamed. Yeah. So shamed. Yeah, good. Really ashamed. Good.
Okay, is this a high school or a preschool? What did they get if they're good? A sticker that has Dora the Explorer on it?
Look at him. The so-called second cutest boy in school.
Wow. You really think so?
Sure.
That is so nice. Do you want to go out sometime?
Who the hell are you?
No. Not really. I'm not looking for anything serious, you know? It's not you. It's me.
Oh. I'm just gonna...
Yeah, just go.
And before you ask the obvious question, no, he does not come back. I seriously have no idea on why they would even bother putting in this few seconds. Not to mention why they would even cast this guy just to be here, despite having his lines being less than 3 sentences. That must have been a big deal for this one actor. Can you imagine him going to his next audition being like, hey, remember that movie Daphne and Velma? Yeah, that guy who tried to ask out one of the title characters? That was me. Daphne and Velma put together that the villain is going after people who are higher up on the leaderboard as they try to eavesdrop on McJock.
I mean, you're a natural nurturer. Stop it. No, sometimes I wish you were my dad. That's crazy. I'm being crazy again.
No, you're not being crazy. Don't do that. You can always count on me.
This is super uncomfortable.
They're wearing their souls, V. It's beautiful.
Easy. God, you're so paranoid.
Man, the acting chops on this guy just, 10 out of 10. The best I've ever seen. They follow him to the locker as he walks inside it, so Velma uses his device to pick it open to see nothing there, only to be punished by Piper. Didn't we just go for this scene?
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't believe the shame stickers didn't work.
Yeah, I think it might be due to them not being 4 years old. Okay, so what type of dumbass punishment are they gonna get now?
Say hello to the shame drone. And you still gotta wear your stickers.
Probably a stupid question, but how much do you think the school's in debt due to them buying stupid shit like this? Daphne and Velma come up with a plan on how to get noticed by the villain, and as for one of them to get higher on the leaderboard. So they begin working on getting Velma on top. That sounds really wrong when I phrase it that way. Which seems to work, while they also go ahead and be assholes to most of the people at school. They plan to do the same to their friend Michaela, yeah, remember her, but they manage to find a secret passageway to where the locker led to, when all of a sudden a cloaked specter comes and leads to probably the laziest chase scene in any of these movies. First, it's more of a light jog than it is a run. Second, they're running around in a circle in this one room, both figuratively and literally. And third, we gotta do them references to the cartoon just to remind us that these are the same characters. This whole movie feels like a Scooby-Doo paint by numbers. You gotta make sure you fill it all in so you don't miss a single detail. So after that excuse of a chase, they manage to go into a secret room to see Michaela in a mysterious tube as they try to get her out of it.
It's okay, we're gonna get you out of here. I can't override the system, Daphne. We have to hurry. Okay, I'm trying. Read me the serial number. GL6592. Okay. It's not doing anything.
Okay, now they're just ripping off Willy Wonka. Oh well, still better than when Tom and Jerry did it. The cloaked figure comes into the room as they're able to trip it to reveal that it's Arwen.
You're Velma, right?
How do you know my name?
Oh, I've been looking around.
This is a kid's movie, right? They get a video call from Daphne's mom from Bloom headquarters, but it's cut off and she's kidnapped. Daphne's able to put 2 and 2 together and reveals that Tobias Bloom is behind this, as her and Velma break into the building to save her mom. They go inside the elevator and what the hell?
Velma? What's going on?
The power must have gone out or something.
You can't do anything without your dad. I didn't say that.
We should be safe at home, not on the front lines. I did not say that. What if the mass of the Earth is too great that it collapses back onto itself?
No one's gonna help you.
Oh, now it makes sense. I forgot to take acid when watching this. Alright, let's watch the scene again.
No one's gonna help you. You've never done anything on your own.
Nope, nothing. Just looks like I'm watching this in Candyland. I'm gonna meet King Candy soon. They manage to get out of there and into Bloom's office, but while they untie Daphne's mom, he tries to stop them with his line of spider robots. You know, I would ask why they made another live-action Scooby-Doo movie, but I think the real question is, when did they start making another live-action Scooby-Doo movie. What the hell is this? It's not Scooby-Doo. It might be the Asylum's take on Scooby-Doo, but it's not the Scooby-Doo I grew up with as a kid. This is just stupid. Random, cringy, and stupid. So after dealing with Bloom's line of BattleBots, it's revealed that he's actually a hologram, and the person behind all of this and Bloom Industries is no shit.
But why the hologram? Why the false identity?
Who's gonna let a teenage girl run a billion-dollar company? The first Azalea phone was my idea. But I knew no one would take me seriously because of my age.
So you created Tobias Bloom using an obscure model's image, and then you started Bloom Innovative as a cover-up.
So you could keep going to school and meet the young new minds that would think up your next inventions.
You lured them in. Then you brought them here.
Where you stole their greatest ideas.
Okay, this might actually be the first time that any of these movies have completely jumped the shark for me. And before Carol gets arrested, she of course has to say the obvious line.
I would have gotten away with it too, if it weren't for you meddling kids.
Shut up! Shut up!
Who? The board was evil. Yeah. It's literally representative of how technology, in a way, has enslaved our minds.
I guess we need some sort of message for this movie, so they just went ahead and threw that in. They're congratulated by Piper as the movie ends with Daphne and Velma getting ready to solve another mystery.
Could be a real monster.
Monsters aren't real.
We'll see about that.
Wow! I can't wait for them to team up with Azula, the Super Mario Brothers, the Misfits, Skeletor, Sinestro, the 2010 version of Freddy Krueger, and the Sinister Six in that incredibly going to happen sequel. Guys, this was a rough one to get through. This movie is bad. Very, very, very bad. I can easily say this might be worse than Curse of the Lake Monster for just one reason. They didn't even try with this one. At least with the other live action movies, they put effort into them and felt like something related to Scooby-Doo. This, however, does not. It feels like they had a script for some generic high school mystery movie and just slapped the names Daphne and Velma onto it. Which sounds very similar to what I said about the first movie from 2002. However, with that one only having some small parts that didn't feel like anything from the show, they still kept a majority of the source material. Here they pretty much said, F it, and just named and dressed them like Daphne and Velma, but didn't have them act like Daphne and Velma. Who is this even made for? Certainly not fans of Scooby-Doo, and most definitely not for kids who are looking for a decent movie to watch. Therefore, it disappoints in both ways. And that is the end of the Scooby-Doo Live Action Marathon. I hope y'all enjoyed it, but I gotta tell ya, after dealing with the downward slope of these movies, I'm gonna need to take a break for a few months. But hey, at least I don't have to deal with any more garbage films based on any animation for quite some time. One day, my children. One day. See you next time.
Who's that puppy with the pink guitar? Hanging his tongue out the back of my car. He's got a spandex collar with a gold-plated chain. Hey! Well, that kooky canine's my main Great Dane. Rock and roll, Scooby-Doo. You make all the chicks go roll. Rock and roll, Scooby-Doo. Doggy Daddy, you're too cool. Scooby-Doo, where are you? Here I am.
I assure you, while you party,